Dear colleague, I represent the report, The Impossibility of Complete Restorations of Buildings Damaged by Wildfire. Yuri Kaliukh, it's me, Professor Marienkov, Senior Researcher Dunin, Professor Yakovenko, Senior Researcher Berchun, and Senior Researcher Babik. We represent Institutes of Telecommunication and Global Information Space of the National Academy of Science of Ukraine, State Enterprise, the State Research Institutes of Building Constructions, and National University of Life and Environmental Science of Ukraine. On the second slide, you will see a short video about rocket attack on the hotel in the downtown of Kyiv, in the central parts of the capital of Ukraine. The Ukraine have stayed under rocket attack from Russia Federation during overall 4 years. Please. The issue of restoring housing damaged due to military actions remains relevant even today. For local communities in Mediterranean countries, this is primarily related to the restorations of the civil infrastructure of Gaza Strip, which suffers from constant bombing by Israel aviations. The building in northern Cyprus, which have been in ruins since the military actions of Greece and Turkey in 1974, remains in a state of disrepair to this day. According to the United Nations experts, overall 3,500 facilities were destroyed or damaged in Aleppo, Syria, and a significant parts of a historical center which was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List still lies in ruins. These destructions were the result of combat actions from 2012 to 2022, particularly airstrikes by the Russian Federation on civilian objects in Aleppo, and the siege of the city by the government force of Bashar Assad. On this slide, you can see server's life of each our buildings from where documents Federation International Beton number 49. In these points, we was built our building. From where some small parts, the conditions of our buildings will stay more strengthening, as we know from the theory of beton. From these points, our living conditions of our buildings will slowly decrease to these points. In these points, we will conduct some repairing works for improve some restorations of our buildings, and our living conditions of our buildings achieve these points. From these points on the next time, our living conditions will slow down for these points. In these points, we will conduct the new restoration works and achieve these points, where our buildings will demolish it. And if our building under rocket attack, we move from these points abrupt to these points down, very fast down from this point to these points. Our living time more short compare with the left graphics on the right graphics. And this is directly connected with the item of my report. You can see on this short video the rocket attacks on the building on the topic of my report. This is a high-rise buildings under rocket attack. Rocket attack destroyed some parts of this building. After this, we conducted visual inspections of these parts of these high-rise buildings to improve some column to state some column which with strength under this column for prevent progressive destructions of these parts of these buildings. And after this, we conducted more slowly some more deeper investigations of these parts of this building. On these parts, you can see we displayed some vibration sensors from on the 22 floor, 21st floor, 18th floor, 16th floor, and so on. The vibration acceleration sensor arranged during the 27-story building inspections at 6A Lobanovsk Avenue with damage on floor 18 to 21st story. Accelerometers are connected in 22, 16, and first floor. On these three graphics, you can see oven vibrations from the sensors which displays on different story of these buildings. Amplitude of frequency spectra of buildings vibrations in the directions X at 3 points according to scheme second at level first, 16 and 22 floors at 6A Lobanovsk Avenue, building with damage within 18, 21st floor. We can see this spectrum. And on the next slide, you can see spectrum on the same, practically on the same floor in the buildings which not destroyed from the rocket attack. Amplitude of frequency spectrum of vibrations of a building 6B Lobanovsk Avenue in the direction X and 3 points according to the scheme 2 and level 1. Floor 20 floor and 24 floor. Analog of a building 6A Lobanovsk Avenue. From a compare of this spectrum, we can conclude the oven frequency approximately 3 Hz. And on the first graphics, on the first floor, the 2.3 Hz. What we may conclude? On the first floor, the oven frequency of the buildings approximately 20 to 30% low compared with the undestroyed building. This is, we may conclude about the cracks in whole building from the first floor to 26th floor, and which all influence on living conditions of our buildings, which I represent on the second slide. On this slide, you can see result of determining deviations from vertical corners of the walls of a building, Lobanovsk Avenue 6K is April 26. You can deviations on the different floor, 26th floor, 23, and so on. On this slide, you can see digital model, some parts of a digital model, and some results of numerical modeling on finite element model of these buildings, verifying digital fragments of a spatial model of a building on the 24th floor. You can some inclinations from the horizontal line, the same plate, and so on. You can see the some calculations, another calculations on this slide. Results of calculations of linear displacements on the floor on the 20th floor, taking into account the actual physical and mechanical characteristics of concrete and reinforcement. We to correct our initial boundary conditions for creation digital twins of these destroyed buildings. The first stage, this is a digital model. Second stage, digital shadow of these destroyed building, and third stage, the digital twins of this model. Maximum forced loading bearing capacity of sections of a maximum loaded pylon in the house. You can see ratio of a cross sections bearing capacity T to the force N, 1.02, 0.9, 0.89. This is we may conclude which this no useful for living people in these buildings. We must conduct some reconstructions of this floor to improve this ratio and so on. Despite the reconstructions of redestroyed and damaged floors, these water supply drainage systems have become more frequent, as reported by residents in July 2024, after 2 years before rocket attack. The presumed case in internal defects in structural elements and utilities leading to high failure rates compared to the reference buildings at 6B Lobanovskaya Avenue. General view of the destroyed sections of the buildings at the 19th, 21st floors. Here the marks, the room on the 20 floors was damaged by a missile strike on February 26, 2024. On the left photo, this is a destroyed flat and later restored on these spots. But we can see some cracks on the wall. Thus, after restorations, we obtained a new cracks in these parts. Conclusions. The comparisons of natural abrasions frequency of damaged and undamaged buildings allows to conclude that there are cracks in the civil structure of the buildings 6A Lobanovskaya Avenue because of a missile's impact. The natural abrasion frequency of 6A buildings is 25-35 lower than the 6B buildings, which indirectly indicates the development of the building structure and material destruction in the 6A buildings and presence of internal cracks and inhomogeneities due to missile's impact. Despite the reconstructions of 3 destroyed damaged floors, this water supply and drainage system have become more frequency and reported as in July 2024. The presumed case in internal defects of structural elements and utilities leading to high failure rates compared to the reference building 6B Lobanovskaya Avenue. This indicates that the impossibility of complete restorations of building damage as a result of military actions. Thank you for your attention.